Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we sift through stacks of insights, articles, research, you name it, and we pull out the really important nuggets of knowledge, the goal, to help you get truly well-informed. And today, our mission is all about uncovering some powerful, maybe often overlooked, financial strategies, specifically for you if you're a business owner or a professional. We're diving deep into how you can dramatically save on your current taxes, like right now, this year.
Yeah, and this deep dive, it really centers on one person's journey, you could say, Steve Schaumberger. We're going to look at his, surprising discoveries about cash balance plans, particularly when they're paired strategically with life insurance and how that combination offers really significant immediate tax savings, especially if you're a high earner. It's a fascinating look at how these tools that seem complex on the surface can actually provide some, surprisingly straightforward and really effective solutions.
Okay, let's unpack that,
Yeah.
because Steve's first take on cash balance plans, it wasn't enthusiasm, let me tell you.
Yeah.
He actually, he brushed them off completely, told us he thought they sounded incredibly complicated, way too niche for his clients. He figured, look, most of his people were already maxing out their 401ks.
Right, they were doing the standard stuff.
Exactly. They had solid retirement plans. So why would they need another kind of obscure retirement vehicle? He just didn't see it fitting into his world or, his clients' needs.
But then came this one conversation, a really pointed one. It just changed everything for him. He was sitting with a client, longtime client, super successful business owner, and this client just looks him straight in the eye and asks, "Steve, I'm making good money. What else can I actually be doing to reduce my taxes this year?"
The this year part is key.
Yeah. Exactly. Not just, retirement way down the road, but right now. And Steve, after 3 decades in the insurance industry, he had heard pretty much every question, right? But that direct, immediate question, it really hit him. He admitted he didn't have a great answer right then, and he told us pretty candidly that didn't sit well with him.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He genuinely wanted to help his clients keep more of their money, And realizing he lacked a solid, immediate answer for current tax savings, that's what pushed him to really go digging.
And that digging led to the big aha moment, right? The light bulb moment. What he found was, honestly, it was game-changing and maybe a bit counterintuitive. He discovered these cash balance plans, especially when you strategically pair them with permanent life insurance. They can dramatically boost pre-tax contributions.
Dramatically.
Yeah. And this wasn't just about building retirement wealth for, the distant future, although it definitely does that. It was about significantly cutting current tax liability. We're talking 6 figures, maybe more in some cases, often in the very same tax year. And here's the really interesting twist, the bit that surprised even him. Life insurance, used this way. It's not just about what happens after you're gone. It becomes this powerful, dynamic tool for living well right now, particularly when it comes to shrinking that annual tax bill. It's like finding a hidden superpower for your finances,
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And to make this really concrete, let's talk about Emily. It shows you the real-world impact. Emily's an orthopedic surgeon, mid-50s, incredibly successful, thriving practice, solid income. But, like a lot of high earners, she felt she was actually kind of behind on retirement savings. And she was frustrated. She sat down with Steve and she just laid it out, said, "Look, I'm tired of handing over 1/3 of my income to the IRS every single year. There has to be a better way, a way to catch up on savings and stop this tax bleed."
And that frustration, I bet a lot of you listening can relate to that. But there's a better way for Emily. Steve helped design this tailored strategy just for her situation. It involved setting up a cash balance plan for her business and then layering in permanent life insurance. The result, genuinely remarkable. Emily was able to put away over $300,000 a year.
$300,000.
Yeah. And get this, every single penny was tax deductible from her business income. Fast forward 10 years, she'd built a retirement account worth over $4 million.
Wow.
And on top of that, secured a $2.5 million tax-free death benefit for her kids. So this isn't just theory, right? It's a real story, real impact. But for those of you maybe thinking, okay, hold on, what exactly is this cash balance plan thing? Let's break that down.
Good question. And if you haven't heard of a cash balance plan, yeah, you're definitely not alone. A lot of financial pros even aren't super familiar with them, but basically it's a hybrid. Think of it. Yeah, like if a traditional pension and a 401k had a baby.
Okay, interesting analogy.
Yeah, so like a pension, it's designed to give you a specific benefit at retirement, often guaranteed. You kind of know the payout formula up front. But, and here's the 401k part, each person actually gets their own individual account within the plan, like a 401k. So this combo, it allows for predictable growth, usually offers guaranteed returns, and crucially for us today, much higher contribution limits.
Oh, I'll live in.
Especially as you get older. And it comes with some serious tax perks. That's what makes it so attractive.
Steve has this really clever golf analogy for it. And being a golfer, it just clicked for me immediately. He compares these plans to using a rangefinder on the course. He said, when he was younger, he'd just eyeball his shots. Sometimes great, sometimes
Short.
Exactly. 30 yards short, missed the green entirely. But once he got a rangefinder, he could lock in the exact distance, adjust for slope, and swing with way more confidence, knowing precisely where that ball needed to land. And that's what a well-structured cash balance plan does for your finances, instead of guessing about retirement needs.
Or guessing about taxes.
Right. Or guessing how much Uncle Sam's going to grab from your current income. You lock in real numbers. You get a clear target for your deductions, your savings, what your heirs will actually get. It brings clarity to something that, let's be honest, most people just sort of fumble through. And hitting that perfect shot from 185 yards feels amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, so does telling Uncle Sam he's getting a lot less of your hard-earned cash this year.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is why these have gotten so popular, especially, like we said, for high earners, business owners looking for current tax relief. First, and this is huge for entrepreneurs, the business owner can deduct their contributions, often six figures, directly off their taxable business income.
Okay, that's big.
Huge. Second, the money inside grows tax deferred. No taxes on the growth until you take it out in retirement. And critically, if you add permanent life insurance, the death benefits are typically income tax-free for beneficiaries. Big estate planning plus there. But beyond that, the contributions just go way, way beyond 401k limits. It's like a turbocharge for your savings. Catch up fast or just accelerate wealth building. And here's a massive point for current tax planning. You can even set these up after the tax year ends.
Right after.
Yeah, thanks to the Secure Act. We'll get into that. So it's really a 2-for-1 deal. Big tax savings now, plus solid legacy protection later.
That's incredible. And those contribution limits, they really make you stop and pay attention. They are genuinely eye-popping. Like, for someone around 50, maybe you max out around $195,000 without life insurance in the cash balance plan, but you add the life insurance. That can jump way up, often to $250,000, maybe more annually.
Big jump.
And if you're 60, a max of maybe $321,000 without insurance can soar over $400,000 of life insurance. And no, that's not a typo. It's real money, real deductions, real retirement gross you just can't get with a 401k alone, especially if you're trying to maximize those current tax savings.
And remember Emily's full results. She saved over $190,000 in taxes each year, built over $4 million for retirement, and got that $2.5 million tax-free death benefit for her kids. And she did all that without, setting up some super complex trust or hiring a whole army of attorneys.
Right. It sounds manageable.
It is. Or think about John, a 60-year-old consultant, wanted to boost retirement savings, cut his tax bill. He managed to contribute $400,000 a year. That saved him about $140,000 in taxes annually. And he built a plan worth over $8 million in total, including $3 million in life insurance for his family. These are real, tangible, life-changing results. They really show the power when you integrate these strategies.
Okay, so this naturally leads to the next big question. I'm sure you, the listener, are thinking it. I certainly was. Why? Why include life insurance in a cash balance plan? What's the secret sauce here? It seems like an odd couple, But clearly, it's incredibly powerful.
It's a fantastic question. And yeah, that's where the real synergy kicks in. There are a few specific advantages that make permanent life insurance such a great addition. First, you get significant tax deferral, the employer contributions, fully deductible from the business's income.
Okay.
And the employee accounts, they grow tax deferred inside the plan. So let's say your business puts $500,000 into your plan. That's $500,000 right off your taxable income. Immediately lowers your current tax bill.
Got it.
Second, distributions. Specifically, the life insurance death benefit. Generally income tax-free for your heirs. This can be so important for avoiding a forced sale of assets when the estate settles. Say you have a $3 million estate. You might fund a $1 million life insurance policy through the plan. That tax-free benefit provides cash, liquidity to offset other estate taxes. Lets the family keep the house, the business, the portfolio intact, instead of selling stuff off to pay the tax man.
Right, keeps the assets together. And then there's that really innovative part. The increased contribution limits. How does putting life insurance in the plan actually let you put more money in and therefore deduct more money from your current taxes?
Yes, that is the secret sauce for really supercharging the savings. Adding permanent life insurance can significantly boost your contribution limits. We're talking maybe 20% to 40% more. Depends on the plan design, your age, things like that. But the key is, under IRS rules for these qualified plans, the premiums paid for the death benefit. They're considered an actuarially necessary cost of the plan.
Okay. It's a recognized cost.
Exactly. And that basically expands the total amount you're allowed to contribute. So you're not just buying life insurance on the side. You're using it as a perfectly legal IRS-approved way to contribute and deduct significantly more than you could with just the cash balance plan alone. To give you some numbers, age 35, maybe your max goes from around $92,000 up to $110,000, maybe $120,000. Age 55 could jump from $250,000 to maybe $295,000, even $320,000. And at 65, what was $333,000 might become $390,000, maybe $415,000.
Those are massive increases.
They really are, and they translate directly into more pre-tax savings today.
Okay, now, a really common question we get, and it's crucial, especially for anyone feeling like they missed the boat last year, but isn't it too late? Isn't it too late to do this for last year's taxes? Maybe you're listening right now during tax season thinking, man, my income last year was huge. I'm staring down a monster tax bill.
That's a great, very practical question, and the surprising answer, not necessarily.
Really?
That's right. Thanks mostly to the Secure Act of 2019, landmark legislation really aimed at helping Americans save more for retirement. It gave business owners and self-employed folks this incredible flexibility. You can actually set up and fund a cash balance plan after the tax year ends.
No kidding.
The key is you got to do it before your tax filing deadline, including any extensions you might have gotten. Steve often calls this the second serve in tennis.
The tennis analogy again.
Yeah. Maybe you missed your first shot, right? Too busy running the business. Maybe you just didn't know about this option to cut your taxes. But the rules, they give you another chance, a second serve. And if you make that serve count, it can mean serious tax relief and some big long-term wins for your financial future.
And we have a fantastic example of this second serve idea. Susan, she's a business owner, realized her income for the previous year was way higher than expected. Tax bill was going to hurt badly. So, smart move, she filed for an extension on her taxes. Then, in May, she wasn't just filing old returns, she actually set up a cash balance plan for her previous year's income.
That's proactive.
Totally. Results were incredible. $400,000 deductible contribution. That translated to an estimated $148,000 in tax savings, assuming a 37% federal rate, plus a $3 million tax-free death benefit for her family down the road. Textbook second serve, right? And just win-win-win. Immediate tax relief, retirement boost, legacy protection.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. So looking at the bigger picture here, this isn't just about taxes, right? I mean, the immediate tax relief is often the hook, the big driver. But for business owners, professionals, even larger companies, it's really about creating long-term security. Security for your own retirement, sure, but also for your family's financial future, your legacy. Steve's seen firms use these plans not just for owners, but for executive benefits, too.
Oh, interesting. Like for key employees.
Exactly. A powerful tool to retain top talent, offer them a superior retirement vehicle, also used to help offset potential estate taxes, protect key people in the organization. It's pretty adaptable. Different business sizes, structures. It offers financial engineering that goes way beyond just standard retirement planning.
Okay, so given all that, who really stands out as the ideal candidate for this strategy? Who's the best fit for taking this kind of, deep dive into their financial planning?
Well, based on Steve's guidance, he typically sees the most bang for the buck, you could say, for folks age 45 or older. That's mainly because the contribution limits for these plans, they ramp up significantly with age.
Right.
So it lets older people really catch up on retirement savings or just supercharge their existing plans quickly. It's also a deal for business owners, obviously, or people part of a pass-through entity, S-Corp, LLC partnership, because that's where those big deductible contributions really hit the bottom line on current income taxes.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And fundamentally, it's for anyone who wants to put away more for retirement than the standard 401k limits allow, which, let's face it, for many high earners, that's a common frustration. And finally, it's for people looking for that comprehensive solution, not just tax savings now, not just retirement growth later, but also that integrated estate planning piece, sort of all wrapped up in one elegant strategy. So if that sounds like you listening, or maybe someone you advise, it might really be time to take a much closer look because the impact, it can be pretty profound.
Yeah. As we wrap up this deep dive, Steve's ultimate insight really sticks with me, that the best financial strategies, they aren't always the flashy ones, the ones grabbing headlines. Often they're the ones that just quietly work year after year, almost behind the scenes, helping families keep more of what they earn, pass it on wisely, build that lasting wealth. And these cash balance plans, especially paired with life insurance, they truly seem like one of the most overlooked tools out there. They won't make the evening news, you won't see flashy commercials, but they give successful people this powerful, totally legitimate way to build wealth intentionally, cut unnecessary taxes significantly, and protect what really matters: family, legacy, peace of mind.
Well said. And if you're looking to play smarter, maybe in
Sure.
the second half of your financial life, this strategy absolutely deserves a serious look. And listen, if you've had a great year, if your income really took off,
Yeah.
and you absolutely do not want to see a third of that hard work just disappear to taxes, well, now's the time to act. Because, the IRS won't wait for you. And neither will time when it comes to maximizing these kinds of opportunities. So whether you feel like you're playing catch up on savings or you're planning ahead for an even stronger financial future, this might just be your moment. Your chance to take control, make a smart move, and really finish strong. We'd encourage you to explore how a cash balance plan, maybe with life insurance, could fit into your overall financial picture, and importantly, what it could mean for your tax bill this year.